Right, hello everyone, this is ProductShard, and today we're going to be going over this week's gun of the week, which is this gun right here. We're going to go with the one headshot, with the double headshot, and look at that, the first triple headshot feed I've ever got, with this horrendous little gun. This week's gun of the week is the SVU ACOG. It was going to be like all snipers ACOG, but we can do that another time with other snipers. This one is especially interesting. And very hard to use, and is going to take you a little while to get used to. But when you do, it can actually be like an absolute tank, as you'll hopefully see in a few little clips of the gameplay. But put in the ACOG, well, normally, for those of you who don't know, the SVU is a semi-auto sniper rifle that takes 2 shots to kill, or unsuppressed 1 shot in the head. And it can be used at very long ranges effectively, and can be used with a suppressor as well, pretty effectively, and is used for kind of sniper ninja classes, and any classes where you want to be able to spray and not be seen, because otherwise you're using a bolt action, and if you hit them below like the chest, with every other suppressed sniper, it doesn't kill them, other than the DSR in this game. But in other games, if you ever used a suppressor on a sniper, then you'd always get like a one-hit kill, even if it was a bolt action, which people didn't like. So things like the RSAS that were in MW3, they were used with a suppressor basically all the time, and people would just spray, and they had basically no recoil, and you could do whatever you want, and you could just run around and spray people down and hip fire as well, and they were pretty effective weapons. Now the SVU is kind of like that. It has a bit more recoil than previous semi-auto snipers have had in previous Call of Duties. And this kind of makes it a bit more difficult when you're like at long range, but when you've got the shorter range of the ACOG, then it makes it. The recoil isn't quite as bad, but is very different to what you think, and can be a little bit off-putting, especially at the beginning, and that was really annoying because that cap would have got me a nice little AGR. But that was probably the highest kill streak I ever got with this gun. But it can be used very effectively at like on an objective. But unlike other snipers, you're going to be using this quite fast-paced and running pretty close to people, because it doesn't quite have the long-range capability that you want a sniper rifle to have. And this means you're going to be much closer. And this is why I use it as an objective kind of class, and I do kind of rush with it for some reason. And this makes it kind of fun to use, because unlike other snipers, you either have to be really good at quickscoping, or you have to stay pretty far back and take it really slow. You've only got that one shot, and then you've got to pull back the pin, so everything's really slow and calm. Whereas this gun, you're going to be spraying down people, and you get into a place where you know it's only going to take 2 shots to kill. So you aim it up, and you could quite happily fire one, wait for it, like the recoil to recenter, and then fire another, and you would get the kill easily. Or you could aim for a headshot and do it, but like in one hit you could kill them with a headshot. But instead what you end up doing is aiming it vaguely near them, and then just hammering down the trigger and spraying a good 8 to 10 bullets, and the recoil kind of goes mad, and you got to try and center it while spraying, and it can be quite fun, but it can also be rather annoying. So you've got to kind of master that bit, and either get to the point where you can force yourself to only take 2 shots, or you can like spray and control the recoil, which either one is pretty good. But when you do start, as I said, you're going to be very bad with this gun, because like using a variable zoom or like the normal scope, you can aim and be very precise, but putting the ACOG on, depending on the reticle you put on it, it can be really accurate or just horrendous. And as you've just seen there, you need the use of pistols for when you do spray and just miss people completely. And you're even going to see that in a nice little kill cam. But you will kind of spray, and then on the class that you're going to be using, always make sure you have pistol akimbo, because at that close range it is horrendous, because the hipfire is so big, and unless you put a laser sight on there, it's going to be like pretty bad. kind of go over the class anyway, you want to put on, obviously, the ACOG, and then your second attachment, I would always recommend putting the fast mag on there, because you do just spray the 12 bullets really quick, and you're always going to be reloading and kind of going at a nice fast pace. So definitely recommend fast mags. And then for perks, you've got lightweight, toughness, and dexterity. Lightweight is just going to increase like the speed that you're playing at, but if you are going to play like heavy objective, then maybe put on flak jacket if you're going to be sitting in a building like overwatching an objective, which doesn't happen very often in this game without being called camping, but there you go. That guy with the nice quickscope, that really annoyed me in this game. I can remember that, I don't know why. But I remember being annoyed that he killed me with that quickscope, even though it was quite good. Then dexterity is going to be so if you do run up to someone and you are close to them, then you can start hammering off those, the hip fire, pretty quick, and you're likely, or more likely, to be able to kill them. Because if you can like start spraying and get one shot into them, and then as you're spraying you kind of aim in, then you only need to get one more shot while aiming. But if you do try and hip fire it and they're any more than like 2 feet away maybe, then you're very unlikely to get 2 bullets into them, because that hip fire is so wide, and that can get quite frustrating. So again, the use of pistols is definitely going to help, and you should see at the end that I don't really go on a rampage with them, but pulling out the pistols when there's a load of people close to me ends up being very, very effective. Another way you can kind of run this class is putting the suppressor on it and run it as that kind of ninja sniper class. Here it goes. Loads of people everywhere, and I'm on a 1 bar at this point. So none of my bullets are actually hitting, but I kind of am able to ward them off, and people stay away. But you can run the suppressor, and being close to people, obviously you need to be closer to them to kill them with the ACOG. You can use that and kind of run into objectives and stuff, and you're more likely to be able to kill more of them because they won't know you're there. Rather than spraying off like 2 or 3 and you coming up on the minimap, and then there's like they all see you on the minimap, and then you've got to reload and they start killing you. So another way you can do it is the suppressor, but then you can't get the one-shot headshots, which, as you saw at the beginning, can get you a nice little feed. But this is going to be a very strange gun if you do decide to use it this week. I managed to get 2 or 3 games that were pretty good with it, this being one of them, even though it wasn't great, but it displayed the use of pistols well. So try not to rage. You probably will, because it is kind of bad, but when you do get used to it, you can do pretty well. So have fun using this. Please leave a like if you think this class is hilarious and it's really, really difficult to use. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.